Hello people, I'm Ginnymetheral and I am a 4th generation witch. Today's video is all about your aura, and this is just a quick step in how to see your aura. For those of you who don't know what auras are, they are basically your animal magnetism, your energy that comes out from your body, but depending on your situation and what you're doing, from anything from very close to quite far, depending on if you throw your aura out. It's a really important part of your psychic development to understand your aura. You don't necessarily have to know what colour it is, but you'll probably most likely will. So this video is very short and I just want to teach you how to begin to see your own aura. People think this is actually very difficult. It's not. I teach this to my students in my coven meetings all the time, and they're really good at it and everybody gets it. Every single one. I've never had a failure. So I thought I would try and teach the good folk of YouTube. Before you start any work with your aura, the most important thing for you to do is to make sure that you're clean. By this I mean psychically clean. And the easiest way to do this is to smudge with a joss stick or a sage stick. Now, I apologise to all the Native Americans out there who might be upset that we've appropriated the word smudge or appropriated their use of white sage, but it has come public and common practice. People in this country, witches, have been using smoke as a cleansing agent for generations, and therefore it's a part of our natural use and heritage. However, the word smudge has obviously come to mean this, and a great word is it too, because it really incorporates all those details. It isn't a holy word, but the ceremony that the Native American Indians use, the smudging ceremony for, is. Now, we're not appropriating that, we're just appropriating the word. And for that, I apologise, but language does need to grow. So of course, why do you need to do a smudging purification ceremony before you work on your aura? Well, it's a bit like having a plate of food. Once you've finished the plate of food, you clean it, don't you, and put it away in the cupboard. Your aura sort of gets a bit dirty and picks up negative energies as you work as a witch. Now, these negative energies are exactly the same as the leftover food on your plate and just need cleaning off. And so a smudge stick is a very useful way to do this. The other way you can do this is just to have a bath. And actually, this is one of the things that I'm going to recommend. Bathing really helps clear out your aura. And this is because the water washes it clean. So do make sure you immerse yourself. A shower is pretty good too. That will also clean your aura. But it's, of course, it's not always appropriate to have a shower or a bath just when you're wanting to work with your aura. So, first things first, let's light our smudge stick. Now, I like to start at the top down, but quite frankly, it doesn't matter where you start as long as you cover your body. When I'm starting my purification ceremony, I will start at the crown of my head and just make sure that you take the smoke around your head. Now, I carry a lot of my negative energy on my shoulders, and it's been quite a stressful week this week, as life is. So I'm going to make sure I really get that smoke onto the back of my shoulders and the back around my neck, because that's where I personally carry my tension. Other people tend to carry their tension in their tummies to make sure that you get your smoke there. Or your chest. Some people carry it in their heart. I'm not one of those. I'm definitely oh my goodness, shoulder. Some people carry it in their heads. But this area is the most important. The other tip when doing a purification ritual is to do under your feet, the bottom of your feet, because this is where your aura connects with the floor, and therefore you need to really ensure that that area is clean so you've got a good connection with the earth. So, once you feel that you have cleaned yourself and your aura, we can start. So for this, I'm going to ask you to get a piece of white paper. I find this the easiest thing to use when you want to see your aura. However, if you have a bathtub that is white, a great place is to do it in the bath, because you've done your purification ceremony, it's relaxing, light some candles, and then we can start. It's very simple. We're just going to place your hand against the piece of white paper, and then you're going to stare at it. Before we do that, you want to take some deep breaths in and out and just relax, concentrating on the sort of magnetic feel around your body. People can feel their auras very easily. If you bring your hands out and bring them in closer, you'll get to about here. My aura is quite tight in at the moment. Normally it's about here, but at the moment it's quite tight in because of the difficulties that we've been facing this week. I'm quite hunkered down at the moment. This is not great for me, and I need to do an aura release spell just to let it out a bit so that I can feel a bit more less stressed, essentially. So if you bring your hands out, the easiest way, bring them in slowly and you'll get to an area, it's normally about here, where it will just feel different. The air will feel different. You might feel heat, you might not. It will feel stronger. And that is where your aura starts. So now you have found out where your aura is, it's a really good idea to look at it. So you take your piece of white paper, put your hand on it, and then do you remember those rather strange eye puzzles where you had to sort of squint your eye and you would see a different picture from the original one that just a forward-thinking gaze found? So it would become 3D, or it would become a completely different picture altogether. They were called eye puzzles, I believe. They were very trendy in the 1990s, and I think I spent quite a lot of time in my childhood doing them. But you had this sort of technique where you slipped your eyes slightly to the side, unfocused them, looked through the piece of paper. So you cast your gaze not to finish here, but to finish over here. And that is what you're going to do to see your aura. Easiest way is to place your hand, and I want you to look at the points between your fingers. So these bits here between your fingers, these are the easiest areas to see your aura. Hold it out, nice flat white hand, stare at it, unfocus your eyes, and you will start to see colours. It might take a couple of minutes of doing this, but it will happen. I absolutely promise you. It is, sometimes you think, oh, it's just my eyes going squiffy and I'm seeing the colours. No, your eyes aren't going squiffy. You are actually concentrating on something that is not visible to your standard naked eye, and that's where you will see those colours. This is a great thing to do in the bath because you can relax, you're on your own, you light a few candles, and you can use the white porcelain bath to check your aura. And squinting at your hands, it's where I first learned to see my aura, was lying in the bath. And I practiced it for about a week before I could just suddenly slide in and immediately see what colour it was. It changes my aura. It goes from being anything from a blue to a red to a gold. And depending on what I need and how I'm going to live my life at the time, that is how I want my aura to change. But this is advanced witchcraft. You really have to learn to see your aura and feel your aura before you can develop the technique of changing your aura. I love auras. It's very easy. Do try this at home. Please leave me a comment. What colour is your aura? If any of you can see my aura, I would love to know what colour you think mine is currently. Do leave me a comment below. It's quite yellowy, my aura at the moment. It's quite goldy. I think that's because that's my protection colour. So I tend to have a yellowy golden colour when I'm protecting, and I'm hard in at the moment. Let me know in the comments how you get on. If you need some help, also write me a comment and I'll come back to you. I promise I will respond. Don't forget, my covered meeting is coming up where the students and I are going to learn a new technique. We do this every month, and if you're interested, do go to patreon.com/Ginnymetheral. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in a few days.